I don't know what's going to happen by the trade deadline. But the other area obviously is kind of like the wing. And I feel like we talk about it every week. Where we're just like, yeah, there's no viable options. But we have more people that are not viable options.
Oh, while we were recording this, the Kings, and as I say Kings, I say the Stockton Kings. They actually signed Josh Jackson,
I saw that.
who was on the Kings last year, and we got him from the Pistons with Lyles, and well, that was it. But we also got DiVincenzo in that trade. So Josh Jackson, I mean, I don't know if he's here. I don't know if he's going to be in the back of three. But I don't know, maybe. I think that's everyone with Josh Jackson. He was the number 4 overall pick right before De'Aaron Fox in the 2017 draft. And so that alone, gives people a lot of hope. And it's like, yeah, he has potential. Again, that was 6 years ago, and he's been bouncing around teams ever since. So I don't know if he's the option, but I don't know. Just like every other team probably said when they got Josh Jackson in the last 4 years, like, yeah, maybe. So I guess we can see with him.
It'd be interesting. I mean, like, it'd be a really good story. Whenever Josh Jackson went out there late last year, it was always just like, I never rooted so hard for a guy.
Right.
Come on, Josh.
Hey, especially with him on the Kings. Like, yeah. Make your home here.
Rocking that white chocolate number.
I know he did, huh?
Well, it's interesting that they just picked him up because it's just like, like Mo Harkless is a free agent, I think.
I forgot about Mo Harkless already.
Yeah, I didn't even realize that he was. I thought he was just on the Hawks the whole time, but I guess he got traded from there long ago, and then I think he got cut. But maybe bring in Mo Harkless.
No.
I don't know. He's what, 29, 28?
Mo Harkless?
I don't know.
Is he only? He's 29. Oh my god! I feel like this guy's been in the league for like 40 seasons.
Well, that's pretty old. That's like 9 years in the league right there. If you're 29,
I would have guessed 35. But yeah, he started at 19. Yeah, so it's his. I think his 10th season right here. That's crazy. Well, he hasn't played a game yet. I can't believe we had him for like a year and a half. It was a big trade. We got him from the Heat with 2 other guys. I forget their names. I don't even know they were nobodies. But yeah, the wing position. It's just, I mean, we kind of talked about it last week. Jalen McDaniels, maybe. And then who's the other guy? I already forget. Who's the other wing guy that you wrote about?
Cam Reddish.
Cam Reddish.
Would just that'd be like, I think you have more hope with Josh Jackson. No offense.
I was going to say Cam Reddish kind of reminds me of Josh Jackson. Like higher draft pick, lottery pick, where it's like he came out of the draft. It's like, man, this guy could be good. And it's just like just hasn't panned out. But he's like, it's always like Cam Reddish is a little younger than Josh Jackson. He got drafted with Zion's year, so I think 2 years after.
I immediately take back what I said because I was just thinking about it. I'm just like,
Reddish still has more potential. Like Reddish is like. Josh Jackson's a little removed from like, yeah, just if he just finds the perfect fit.
Reddish has the physical assets too. He's long. He could be a good defender. I think he just needs to understand his role in the league, that he's never going to be the guy that everybody thought he was going to be.
Yeah, that's very true.
It just sounds like it takes a cursory research on this guy to figure out that he's just kind of overhyped coming out of high school, it sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
That's how a lot of people will summarize it. Willing to be corrected on that, but it just doesn't seem like he's found a rhythm being the guy he thinks he is. And it's just like, dude, you could be so good if you just set to a particular role. And while I think that, that would be great for the Kings to try that, it just seems like the guy's going into a contract year. I don't think he's going to try to go in there and do that. You might lose him. It might just end up being nothing. It's not worth it at all. If you were going to do that with anybody, you do it with McDaniels, I feel like, because he's like the perfect example of a guy that just kind of like found a role and stuck to it, just kind of being that defensive guy that runs the floor, cuts, hits open threes. I don't know. Cam Reddish just seems like antithetical to I mean, like the idea of chemistry gets brought up a lot, and it just seems like Cam Reddish, you're just gonna throw him in there. I mean, like he might do well with them. I don't know. It just doesn't seem like the on floor chemistry would be great.
No, I agree. I think the Kings are at a spot where, yeah, there are a couple of players away still from being that real championship contender, or just Fox really becoming like an elite player, like a 30 point a game kind of guy. But it's like, other than that, like the Kings just need solid role players around them, and you see that with the starting lineup in itself. I mean, Herter, Murray, and Barnes are playing like elite role players so far this season. Murray, especially in the last month and a half, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you need those guys off the bench. Trey Lyles, great role player. Davion Mitchell, great role player. Malik Monk, I mean, I wouldn't say he's as much of a role player as the other guys, where he has more freedom in what he does. But yeah, I mean, like you said, chemistry. I think Cam Reddish is a guy who would try to do too much and throw off that chemistry and not play within his assigned role. Or Jalen McDaniels, we need a Jalen Daniels in Sacramento, a guy who's going to know his role and play good defense. That's what the Kings kind of need right now. So I totally get what you're saying, and he's a smarter pickup and a guy who would fit this team and culture a lot better.
But I don't know that you'd be able to retain him because that guy would get a pretty nice deal. He's
He
long. He's the exact guy that every team wants. Every team wants that. You want to be like Memphis, that's super long and like just has all sorts of different guys handling the ball and being long and disruptive out there, or something like that. You try to get guys like McDaniels,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the only issue with him. It's like, hey, dude, you want to just come here and play for like dimes on the dollar?
Yeah, I know.
Of
You
course
would hope.
not.
Man, I know.
But I mean, like, it's obviously those small moves, but it just seems so limited in terms of who's like, I think Robert Covington would technically be somebody, but he's like 32 and making like $12 million a year and hasn't played really a lot this season. I don't know. There's like the bigger names, I guess. Talking about a lot of people want the Kings to go after like OG Anunoby, but has been kind of the case since the interest rumor broke a couple of months ago. It's just like Kings are they don't have a first round pick to give them. I don't see how they'd have to give up maybe like Keegan Murray and Davion Mitchell and maybe something else and maybe have a chance at it. But it just seems like with a lot of these trade rumors, it's just like the asking price just never comes down on a lot of them, and then nothing happens.
Yeah, and great point. That's just kind of where the Kings are. Like with the Kings, we can't talk about those big name players because the Kings don't have anything to give away. They don't have any good trade pieces. Like I said, their trade pieces, realistically, of who the Kings would be willing to give away at this point, would be Holmes. I mean, I don't even really want to say Trey Lyles anymore. I really like Trey Lyles. I kind of hope you try to re-sign him in the offseason.
Trey Lyles, we're talking about guys that are kind of like versatile and long. I mean, he's not a wing, but like in terms of versatility, his ability to play inside and out, his defensive ability, that's a guy that you want him on your bench. Like if you can somehow retain him, you do it because he's vital.
Yeah, he is vital. And so outside of him, even though he's on a contract year, you want to re-sign him. You want to retain him this year so you have the chance to re-sign him in the offseason. So you got Holmes, you have Terrence Davis, and then like I wouldn't even count like Alex Len or like I guess
that would just be for like
yeah, exactly. Right. So your two big attractions are Holmes and Davis, and then I guess second round picks, and then you need salary fillers like Metu or Akpala. Would you be willing to trade Metu? Actually, I don't even know if Metu is even tradable.
I mean, I would be if I'm Monty McNair and if I'm in McNair, Wes Wilcox, and Mike Brown's in a room with them. I'm saying, yeah, you should trade Metu if you can. Yeah, but I just don't think that that's going to happen.
I don't either.
They'd have to get a guy that could be their backup five for a few years.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just seems like I feel like that trust factor is always going to keep Metu around with Mike Brown.